Oh hey, if you want to turn your landlord special bathroom into a special bathroom that might make your landlord pass out, then you're gonna love today's episode. Okay. Welcome back to Laugh Cry DIY. I am your host Katie, and I am standing in my own personal hell, which is an all-white bathroom. This is the plain, simple, boring, and kind of beat up bathroom that belongs to my best friend Rachel. She, like many of us, lives in an apartment that has been through many hands and many layers of paint, and at this point it's showing its age. Now, as I mentioned, it is all white, it is super plain, and that is not Rachel's personality. Rachel is a colorful, fun, bubbly raver girl, very attracted to color blocking and a sort of lightly inspired 80s, 90s Memphis design style. If you don't know what Memphis design is, think of Saved by the Bell. That's Memphis design. And so she challenged me to take this bathroom and turn it into the wild, colorful 80s postmodern bathroom of her dreams on a tight budget and with only paint. And that is what we are gonna do. Now, if you already tuned into the channel, you would know that we actually already did a virtual makeover on this space, and today is the day that we are bringing it to life. And we're going to start with our first color block of paint, because we are not going to be using one, not two, not three, but 4 colors in this space. Oh my God, what? And we are not going to just be painting all 4 walls. Oh no, baby. We're painting the 5th wall, which is the ceiling, which everybody forgets about. But we're gonna start by drawing a line around half of the room so that we can create a half wall. So I'm using my good old standard trusty chalk pencils. These are easy to wipe off. I will also have them linked below, as well as my favorite 4-foot level, which I believe we've called many things on the channel, including Patty Lavelle. Patty Lavelle bothers some people because they want me to have a laser level, but I'm telling you, in the time it would take me to set up a laser level, she's already done, so it's fine. So we're just starting to mark with our first line, and then that way we can ensure we have the exact line that goes all the way around the room. Also, I'm not like other girls. My paint goes all the way across the door. And we're gonna tape off with the worst color in the world, which is white masking tape, but I really wanna get rid of this roll, and this is the day to do it. Oh, and we are also taping off the door frame because we're gonna match the colors to the inside of the door. Conventional wisdom says, like, if you have 2 different colors on 2 different sides of a door, paint the interior the colors that are in the room it opens up into. Do you know what I'm saying? But also do what you want. Design is subjective, who gives a Now it is time to introduce you to the color stars of today's episode, starting with the color that I think has the coolest name of all paint colors, and that is Solar Storm by Bear. Now, I know this color is kind of washed out on camera. It is like a apricot. Rach had a very specific color palette in mind, and we gotta give the girls what they want. So we are starting with this beauty. Oh, and I think I'm not gonna use a paint roller. I think I'm just gonna use this edging tool. This tool is more important to me than my marriage license or birth certificate. It's called an edger, and it has these wheels on the side, and you can just edge things really easily. And there's a little funky stuff to get around that it's helpful to have a little bit of a smaller tool for. Also, make yourself some paint pants. Every time you finish a project, do a flower. Oh, it's so cheerful. And now it is ceiling time, and we are doing that exact same color on the ceiling because we want to be wild and bright and cheerful. And I'm hoping you guys can see in the light. You know, I use natural light as a director's choice. Also, I think this is the first ceiling we've painted on the channel, and that is a thrill and a joy. Okay, I am taking a break to reload, but I just want to point out, this was all painted with just a sample. And if you want a cute little tip on how to paint a bit tidier after you stir everything up, you can create a cleaner little pour spout by using your painter's tape and taping off a little corner. This way you can pour and it'll create a nice little buffer there. And then you can take that off and easily put the cap back on without all the paint congealing in the rim. Yay. Okay, Okay guys, we've done 2 coats of yellow and we're gonna peel off this line while it's still somewhat wet. If you let it dry and you try to peel it off later, sometimes it can peel the paint with it. It's like a little bit messy, so. Now we gotta let it dry and retape and hit it with this beautiful starlit pink. We worked really hard and swatched our lives away to find the perfect pink. It's so gorgeous. It actually looks like the icing on a Pop-Tart to me. So we're gonna get her on the walls, but first we're gonna do something that will save ourselves from crying later. So if you just use plain tape, you'll see here, you're probably gonna get a little bit of bleed through, especially if you have any sort of textured walls. So the way to prevent that is to run the tiniest little line of paint right across the edge. So you can see it creates this little seal. And then when the pink goes over it, you're gonna get the crispest line possible. Now, before we splash this pink on the wall, I do wanna talk about the power of half walls. If you have a really small space, especially like with a low ceiling, a half wall, especially with a lighter color on the top, can make the room feel taller. That's not necessarily why we're doing that in this particular makeover, but I did just wanna say. I also forgot to mention that we did let this paint cure for like 24 hours. I get nervous putting painter's tape right over freshly painted paint because it can peel off, so just know if you wanna do a project like this, it's going to take days and months and years of your life to do it in stages. Okay. Sorry guys, I can't stop. Oh, also, this was not in the original design of this room, but as I was doing things, I decided to do the inset here, yellow as well, for contrast and also because we're gonna do something funky later. Guys, it's hard to film in the bathroom. I just want you to know. And also, if you're looking at today's design and you're like, oh my God, it looks like an Easter egg. It's like, yeah, that's what we want. We want to feel like we're at an Easter rave in the 80s. Also, if you don't like bold and colorful design, you don't have to watch the channel. You don't have to leave comments. Just learn to hate things in silence, you know? I still stand by that, even though the universe just tried to make me fall and keep me humble. All right, guys, moment of truth. How crisp and clean is our line? Oh, look at that. Look at that. All right, you guys, this is looking amazing. It is looking so rosy, golden, beautiful. However, this is still basically a white wall in my opinion, because now that we have color, we need to add in a little bit of pattern. And in Rachel's inspo photos, she had given me photos of a lot of colorful tiled bathrooms. She's renting, we're on a budget, we're not gonna be putting in tiles, but we can give the illusion of tiles by doing a full checkerboard pattern on the lower half of the room. Isn't that crazy? I know. So we are taking Patti LaBelle and we are going to do 4-inch squares all around the room. But before we do that, let's talk about some of the dangers and threats that come from doing a checkerboard pattern. You should know, checkerboards are really cool. They're also really a pain in the ass to paint. It's easy to mess up the lines, it's easy to forget which square is colored, and most importantly, when you're trying to really do a visual illusion of kind of tile as we are, you need to make sure that your measurements are very precise. So to make sure that happened, we very carefully calculated out how high this wall was gonna be, as well as what size squares we were gonna do, and I made sure to notice some weird funky things around the room that could really ruin the vibe. So I'm gonna measure out and trace with the level. However, pro tip, also cut yourself some squares that are in the exact dimensions you need. These are just helpful spacers if you're in a funky little spot, and they're basically like emotional support squares. But before we do that, I have to be honest, I already started the pattern on one wall. You need to start the pattern one spot and just continue it all the way around. I also made sure to build this design around this little backsplash portion of the sink. Had I measured everything on the big free blank wall, I would have not realized that the pattern would be oddly cut off by this. So I really used this as the marker for the wall height to make sure we could get 4-inch squares. Does this make sense? I'm just trying to save you guys the tears that I myself have shed in the past. So now that we know it's all gone here, we can continue on the door. And yeah, sometimes your level's too long for the door. That's why we got these little guys and a smaller guy. Whew, okay, we're good. The next step I'm gonna do is I'm going to mark out the pattern, just like put a little dash mark so that we know which ones need to be colored in, because that is the number one thing that you can easily mess up and you will really hate your life. Isn't this thrilling? I don't know how we got here. I did take these wrong. So I do think we have to retake these. Great news, guys. I didn't actually kind of mess up. I completely messed up. I don't know what I was thinking. I was spaced out. It doesn't matter. So basically I had to use a razor blade to hand cut each of these squares and retape them around the correct line. And then because I want a really crisp line, I went and I hand painted in every individual square. Oh, and don't forget that we also did the same thing on the interior of the window box to create a sense of continuity and delight. And now, at long last, it is finally paint time with a sexy color called Bonfire Blaze. We wanted a two-tone effect that was fun and poppy, but we didn't want the color contrast to be too stark or crazy, so we went with a slightly darker shade of the base color. And now, we can finally put this on and not be haunted by the tape demons of our past. Ooh, baby. Oh, she's gorgeous. Oh, she's beautiful. And most importantly, she is crisp as hell. The contrast is perfect. Size and the scale is perfect. Making it all happen, absolute hell. All right, folks, here we are. The pattern, it looks amazing. The tape pulling, very satisfying. So we are done with the checkerboard, but we are not done with adding color to this space. We still have this baseboard. It's still just a boring white, and we can't live with that. So we are going to add another accent color, which is the gorgeous, the beautiful beacon blue. So we're gonna go ahead and paint all of the trim, but you will notice that I have not taped off the baseboards or the floorboards, and that is because I trust my steady hand. And there's an easy hack when you're gonna paint baseboards. Just get yourself a slice of like cardboard or poster board or something. You can bank it right up to the edge and you can paint straight on, and boom, you don't have to tape anything off. Oh my gosh, ooh, she's popping. So we have our beautiful trim, we have our beautiful blue, and although we are done painting in this space, we are not done with this beautiful, gorgeous blue color, because we still have this basic brown, boring cabinet. Now, this is a rental, and although Rach can paint, we're not gonna paint the cabinet. Even though somebody, some tenant, 5 tenants ago half tried to, I don't know. But that doesn't mean that we can't change the color, because we're gonna do the very fun, very exciting, renter-friendly hack of contact papering the cabinets blue. But before we do that, let's have a cabinet chat. So I have contact papered cabinets in other makeovers. It's a super fun hack, and you can contact paper them any color you want, because surprise, surprise, this contact paper was originally white. We simply cut out the pieces and we painted it the color we wanted to. So don't feel limited by whatever colors you see on the shelf. But when it comes to contact papering a piece like this, there's a few caveats. Number one, you don't want to contact paper painted cabinets where the paint could peel off. You want it on something like this, which is like a faux wood or melamine. You also want to consider the shape of the cabinet. As you can see here, we have these insets, and you can contact paper around those, but I'm actually gonna do a fun hack to make it easier and more simple. But first, we gotta get these babies off. Oh, and if you're gonna be in the comments being like, you said not to contact paper painted cabinets. Oh my gosh, this side is painted. Yeah, well, it was never supposed to be painted. Look what they did. All right, guys, so here we are. We have a clean cabinet door. We have a pre-cut strip of our contact paper, and we have some poster board. So here's the stitch. As you can see, these are insets. And again, you can go through a lot of work to contact paper those, but we're lazy on this channel. We're not doing all that. It's too much stress. It's too much pressure. An easier thing to do is to take a little simple poster board and perfectly cut it to the front of the cabinet. Basically, we're gonna put contact paper on that and then wrap it around. So it's kind of gonna hold it on, if that makes sense. Now, normally, I would actually use some painter's tape and I would tape this right down on top of it and then paper over that. But I cut these very specifically, so I'm actually going to lay this onto the contact paper. Kind of controversial, very extra pro level, but I think we can do it. Does that look flat? Oh, hell yeah. Okay, and now I'm just gonna put a little bit of tape on all four sides. This is so that this sticks to this. And then I can evenly place it right on. And then I'm cutting in the corners at these little angles. Again, watch my other video tutorial to see how to do this more specifically. So then we can wrap these up and over. Boom. Okay, I have 2 doors done, but before we put them back on, we need to contact paper this whole little unit. Again, very difficult to film in this space, but we're gonna do our best. Okay, probably blocked all that, but we got it. All right, now as you can see, we have another like inset here. So I actually just did the same thing I did on the cabinets, and I cut a little piece of poster board right inside there so that we can just lay this straight on. Okay, time to get these back on. Oh baby, these look beautiful. That color pops on camera, but we are not done. We're gonna add one more little feature to this in a kind of like unconventional way. So the design we're doing today differs a little bit from the virtual makeover I did. Originally, I had the idea to add some hardware right here, but it actually didn't fit. So instead, we're going to do something different. We're gonna take these really large, oversized handles, which were in my stash. Somebody sent these to me, I think. They were originally orange, we painted them pink, and we're actually gonna pop them just right here. They're literally not even functional, but I love that they add a really fun, overscale, kind of dramatic, playful pop of color. So sometimes you have to pivot in life, and that's okay because you still end up with super bold, fun, poppy, cute storage. And speaking of storage, let's keep going. So we have our fun cabinet to store basic, boring things, but we also wanted an opportunity to show off some really fun, cute things. So we decided to add additional storage in the form of really funky, cool, wavy shelves that are gonna go right here. Now, for a lot of this makeover, we've been trying to use things I already had in my stash. So I already had some plain, boring white shelves, and I went ahead and I just cut a cool, funky, wavy pattern into both of them. Then I added some wood filler, and I did a little sanding, and we primed it, and we painted it, and we sealed it, and here they are. Also, pro tip, whenever I'm doing shelves or anything with the multiple screw points in it, I like to lightly put in all 4 so that you can kind of like organize in place and then slowly screw each side in. Just helps you cry less in your life. Now you guys may notice that these brackets blend into the wall, and that is because we are painting them the exact same color as the wall. And I'm just gonna give them a little second coat so that they totally blend in. Where are they? Can't tell. Boop. But we are not done with blue, chill, wavy things because we gotta add a crazy cool blue, wavy, postmodern mirror that I made. Fun fact, this mirror almost killed me. I wanted to use things I had on hand. I did a whole episode about it. I will link it below. I've done like 150 projects on this channel, and this stupid, simple mirror almost ruined my life. So she's fun, she's cute, but I would really like to move on. All right, so we've done Memphis, we've done bright colors, but Rach is a raver girl, so we wanted to introduce a little more of the trippy vibes, and Rach had this print lying around, which fits perfectly. So we're gonna put her right here. And super fun, cool trick if you're looking to mix up your gallery wall. We painted the mat the identical color of the wall, so it looks like this is suspended in glass. It's a really fun visual trick, so consider doing that on your next gallery wall project. Speaking of fun color play, Rach did request a cool vinyl shower curtain, and you know we had to give it to her. But this is actually 2 shower curtains. The original colored one we got is 2-tone. It's clear on the top, color on the bottom. But you might notice it is so sheer, it's so light, and obviously you were gonna just be able to see right through into the bath. So we wanted to make the color pop a little bit more. So I ordered this inner liner in a pink color, and wouldn't you know, it is the identical color of the walls. We did not plan this, but adding that inner one just helped this outer one pop a little bit. So sometimes your original idea just might need a little tweak, but then it's perfect. And on to our last few things. This is gonna be Rachel's fun bath oasis. So of course she needs a bath mat. And of course it needed to be as trippy as possible. I love this print so much, and it's super lush and plush. So when she steps out of the bath, she's going to be stepping into Nirvana. And then unfortunately, I got so into that trippy wave pattern that I decided to paint an old soap dispenser I had to bring it across. And then I came across this little hand towel, which looks really cool and groovy and wavy, but is actually zebra faces. And then I took a solemn vow to chill out on this pattern for Rachel and all of you. But guys, isn't this psychedelic? It's so cool. Okay, last few little styling bits. Guys, I love a slow motion styling shot. What can I say? And lastly, I am giving Rach the gift that I think everybody should have if they want a really cool, relaxing, vibey bathroom. And that is one of these beautiful rechargeable globes. They're waterproof. They come in a bunch of different sizes. You charge them up, and then you have a party in your bathroom. This gives the most beautiful golden orange glowy light. I put one up high in my bathroom, and I use it for every single shower and bath. Yes, you do have to recharge it, but the ambiance is so pretty, especially if you're having a party or something like that. I also did another episode on turning this into like 12 different types of lamps. So I will link that below if you're interested. I'll also link a link to the actual globe. But this is the final little piece that makes this whole room come together. And I am so excited for you and Rachel to finally get to see our very exciting bathroom reveal. Well guys, thank you for following me down this very trippy, very colorful rabbit hole. I'm sorry we're not getting Rachel's reaction because honestly, she's not here. And the truth is, we filmed this over the course of 6 weeks and one room in her house has been chaos the whole time because that's real life. And if this is your first time watching my channel, feel free to subscribe. I will drop a bunch of playlists to other makeovers. I also have a newsletter where I send out monthly DIY decor inspiration roundups. And I think that's about it. Most importantly, I think I'm gonna take a bath before Rachel gets home. Okay, love you, bye.